Hey everybody, it's Lana. What's your generation? So this week we are going to go over number ones. Number one movies, number one sports, number one song, number one football team, number one hairband, whatever. We're going to go over some number ones for each generation. So go grab you something to drink, do whatever it is you got to do, and let's sit down and let's get into this. Are you ready? All right. And I have a cat that's going to come join me while we're doing this. You can probably hear her purring. Try to get her down. No guarantees. All right. So, favorite sport for each generation. While football, soccer is the most popular sport globally across the U.S. and all other ages, preferences break down into following generational favorites. The Gen Alpha and Gen Z tend to like basketball. The NFL soccer dominate youth and young adult fandoms. Gen Z has uniquely high engagement with combat sports, MMA, boxing, esports, and gaming. So not just what they like to watch, but also what they like. She's sticking her head up there. What they like to play on their stuff. Millennials, NFL still remains a top choice, closely followed by NBA, with soccer seeing a strong rise in interest. Gen X, NFL reigns supreme as their favorite, while they also grew up during the golden era of NBA and the height of baseball. And baby boomers, NFL. Football holds the top spot, highly overtaking baseball as their generational favorite in the 70s. Baseball and golf maintain significantly higher loyalty among boomers compared to younger cohorts. I'm excited that football's fixing to kick off in a couple of weeks with preseason. When football's not on is my lowest time. It's by my all-time favorite. As you can see, I'm a Chiefs fan. I like the Steelers. My husband is a big Green Bay Packers. I think some of the sports have to do with where you grew up, on who you like. Some of this is generational, folks. They're born into it. I know Patriots fans, they're insane about it. The Bills fans, Bills Mafia, it's crazy. So it just kind of depends on, who you like and what you want to watch. Hold on one second. I got to get rid of somebody here. Like I was saying, the number one movie for each generation, Silent Generation, Gone with the Wind. I don't think they had a lot of options back then, but it was the epic drama defined by the golden age of Hollywood. When adjusted for modern ticket prices, it remains the highest grossing film of all time in the United States, selling over 200 million tickets. And that is a lot for back then. It really is. The baby boomers, Star Wars. But not just Star Wars at all, but they say the episode 4, The New Hope, in 1977, George Lucas' space opera revolutionized pop culture, modern blockbuster cinema. It was a monumental generation film defining cultural phenomenon and its second highest grossing film in history when adjusted for inflation. I think Star Wars was really big with Gen Xers as well, because we have our number one films were defining films. Empire Strikes Back in 1980, and my personal favorite, The Breakfast Club. Love, 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 love that movie. While Empire Strikes Back dominated the box office, The Breakfast Club is widely considered the ultimate coming-of-age movie for Gen X, perfectly capturing the teenage angst, disillusionment, and rebellion of the era. There was Pretty in Pink, 16 Candles, any of the Hughes films were great. St. Elmo's Fire, it's not a Hughes film, but it's a big one, coming age into college or post-college. So for millennials, no surprise, the Titanic in 1997. James Cameron's romance disaster epic became a massive pop culture event, capturing the defining zeitgeist for millennials as they came of age in the 90s. It held the record for the highest grossing film nationwide for over $2.1 billion for more than a decade. Gen Z, they like adventures. Their favorite one of the Avengers seems to be Endgame. Culminating a massive 22-movie interconnected franchise, this film became an unprecedented global event for Gen Z, briefly holding the record for the highest-grossing movie of all time at $2.79 billion. Wow, that's a lot of money. Gen Alpha, they like Inside Out too. A couple years ago, I got introduced to Inside Out. That has to probably go with the whole mental health thing. Setting new benchmarks for animated box records, the film serves as a modern touchstone for the newest generation, reflecting contemporary themes surrounding mental health and growing up. So those are some of your best movies or number one movies for each generation. The next we have is the number one song for each generation. So the number one song for each generation, the Silent Generation. Well, I just can't think, they must not have much music to go by, but White Christmas by Bing Crosby in 1942. Recognized as the Guinness World Book Records best-selling single of all time, over 50 million copies sold worldwide. For a Christmas song. Okay, that was their happy time. Baby Boomers. Oh yeah, the Beatles. I want to hold your hand. By the Beatles in 1964, the ultimate track of the British invasion, spending 7 weeks of number one on the U.S. charts, kicking off a cultural revolution. I'm really kind of shocked Elvis didn't win in that because they think he's so great. But I want to hold your hand by the Beatles for the Baby Boomers. This one shocked me because Gen X is big hair bands. But the number one song for Gen X, Smells Like Teen Spirit by Nirvana in 1991. I'm not a fan of Nirvana. Not a fan of Kurt Cobain. Not a fan of Courtney Love. None of that. I kind of felt like Nirvana killed the hair bands, but whatever. Universally agreed music fans on platforms by Reddit as defining the grunge and counterculture anthem of the era. See, that's why I would think it would go into the millennials, not the Gen X, because it was like a whole new change of things. Millennials. I Want It That Way by the Backstreet Boys in 1999. I'm not shocked about that at all, that it's a hair band. Or not a hair band, but a boy band. Shattered streaming records on Spotify and debuted at number one, defining the heartbreak pop punk aesthetic for the digital age. They don't really give a number one song yet. I guess statistics aren't in for Gen Z and lower generations. I don't know. I would think maybe Taylor Swift would be in that. I don't know. So, back to football, because that's my thing. The greatest NFL teams by generation. For the Boomers, 60 to 79, the 1972 Dolphins. To this day is the only undefeated team in NFL history, finishing 17-0. Chiefs have come close, but didn't quite get it. Gen X, 1984 to 1980. To 1994, the Chicago Bears. Widely considered the most ferocious defense ever assembled, going 15-1 and blowing out in the Super Bowl. I don't know if y'all have ever seen the Super Bowl Shuffle. I think that was 1986, or I guess it was 85. They made their own little video and song for the Super Bowl Shuffle. I think the Eagles are the big ones that come out with music now, not the Bears. For the Millennials, 1995 to 2010, 2007, New England Patriots, the only team to finish a 16-0 regular season in the modern era. Gen Z and Alpha, Kansas City Chiefs, anchored by Patrick Mahomes and a generation's ultimate offensive dynasty. For soccer, Baby Boomers, 1970 Brazil and 1974 Ajax. Brazil played what many consider the greatest World Cup ever in 1970, while Ajax Amsterdam revolutionized club football. Gen X, 1989 to 1994, AC Milan and 1998 France. AC Milan was a defensive powerhouse, and France's golden generation won the 1998 World Cup and Euro 2000. Millennials, 2008 through 2012, Spain. With 3 consecutive major interim tournaments, Euro is 2008, 2010, World Cup and Euro 2012. So, like I said, I was really shocked that Nirvana was number 1 with Smells Like Teen Spirit. So I went to digging into what everybody's favorite hair band was. And I'm not shocked to find out that the favorite hair band for at least Gen X, Motley Crue. Dr. Feelgood. If you've seen, oh daggone, what is that movie? Hot Tub Time Machine. It's all about Motley Crue. It's great, especially if you put the end song where he became, in the movie, the lead singer instead of Vince Neil for Motley Crue, singing I'm Coming Home, I think, is the name of the song. Runners-up would be Bon Jovi, Guns N' Roses. Can't stand Guns N' Roses. Like Slash, hate Axl. Just a preference. I think in the 70s would definitely be like Journey, REO Speedwagon, and then you just went off into rock like Bruce Springsteen and so forth. Millennials, crossover revival, they like the band The Darkness. When millennials primarily grew up with the first generation legacy acts, the UK-based group The Darkness injected massive stadium-level fun into 2000s. I think millennials are a little bit more into the techno stuff, marshmallow, stuff like that. For Gen Z and Gen Alpha, as far as hair bands go, Steel Panther. I believe that. One of my daughters was a huge Steel Panther fan. Again, 1980s Sunset Strip kind of a deal. So, when I come from a small town, and all of the sports and the music and how everything, you have your jock bands that came in, was really big. But when you have your big schools, you know, you've got gymnastics, you got probably any sport, any kind of music. But when you go to your smaller schools, at the school that I went to, there was softball and basketball, and they're a huge basketball school, huge. Now they have cross country, they have golf, they have a great golf team. It's really great, and even a lot of, I don't know how many schools around back home anyway that are big into soccer. My youngest was really big into soccer. I think for Gen X, we got really big, thank you Top Gun, but we got really big into sand volleyball. There were even bars that you could swim up to with pools, and you could get into sand volleyball tournaments either as a team, 2-on-2, 3-on-3. It was great. Now I think soccer is really, really coming through. Football, not soccer, but football is more popular than ever. There's the big debate on, you know, Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce on football being so popular right now. I'm not a Swiftie. I don't hate Taylor Swift. I don't necessarily love her. But what's wrong with bringing girls to that has been a male-dominated sport? All these young girls. Y'all, we've got flag football now. And some of these girls are amazing, and they're going on and doing Olympics in flag football. So, right, wrong, or indifferent, I think Taylor Swift coming over to football was an overall good thing. I don't care if they show her in the stands. As long as they're showing my game in between plays, timeouts. Shoot, we got to take a freaking commercial break. It seems like every 2 to 5 minutes. So, they show her in the stands. They show her in the stands. They're selling out tickets. These players are making money. Great. I think another thing as far as music so 8-tracks were ending, vinyls were kind of on the downslope. We had cassettes, then from cassettes went MP3 players, and then everything just became streamable. So, like in school, we had Camelot Music. There was another big music store that we would go to, the mall, and check them all out. What's your take? What do you think is popular? Why do you think the population or popularity changed on all the things? Maybe why things aren't as popular as they were then. I was really kind of shocked. Of course, I don't get a lot of statistics for the forgotten generation. Sorry, it's my phone. I don't know what they played back then. And a lot of that also, like I said, depends on where you live. When I was living on Fire Island, New York, when I was a little kid, we did a lot of Frisbee. We did a lot of volleyball. I'm pretty sure they didn't do that back in Missouri. So I don't know where they get their statistics. I just relayed the statistics to y'all. So, like I said, preseason football's kicking off in a couple of weeks. Couldn't be so excited. I hope that you all are. Yeah, I know it's a short one. Hey, but I'm getting them out to you, so that's all that matters. I hope you all have a wonderful, 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 wonderful rest of your weekend. And don't forget, if you like what you see, I am going to be doing a little more extensive shorts on this. So if you'll probably be seeing the shorts before you catch the podcast between the different teams, the different movies. I'm learning, so I'm doing more the more I learn. But if you like what you see, hit those little buttons, the like, the share, the comment. And guys, give me feedback. I got a lot of feedback to begin with, and then it just kind of fell off. I also know that everybody's busy in the summers. I know a lot of people are watching stuff because when I go to work, people are talking to me about it. When I go back home, people are talking to me about it. I've still got the stuff coming up with the country musicians. I'm going back to my hometown to feature the restaurants. But if you like what you see, if you don't like what you see, tell me. I'm not going to know if you don't tell me. Don't be an armchair bitcher that sits back there and just says, well, I don't like that. Tell me. You want to see something on different generations? You have an idea? Share with me. I'll put in the legwork. I'll do the research on it, and we'll find out what's going on. But until that, like, share, comment, all of that, subscribe. I hope y'all have a great weekend. Fridays at 2. See, now I'm all tongue twisted. Sundays at 2, we will air a new episode each week that we can. If we're not, I will make sure and let you know ahead of time that we're not going to be able to air an episode, or if we're taking a break because I got vacation coming up in August too. I'll try to have some pre-taped episodes to air in my absence. But until then, what's your generation?